Hey guys, welcome to Choosing Recovery. I'm Olivia.
I am Scotty.
And today we have an incredible story from Jeannie, so let's go ahead and jump into it.
Zoom. Right. What were your drug or drugs of choice if you had multiple? And at what age did you start using any substance?
Okay, so the first time I ever had a drink, I was like 13. But I got drunk, and that was the last time I ever did that until I was 27, and I got into a car accident, and I was prescribed opiates. So that's where my drugs of choice started, was the opiates, the oxycodone, the hydrocodone, the morphine, and then I quickly graduated to IV, to meth and heroin.
How long have you used for your total amount?
My total amount, so about 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah, time flies.
Oh, and like she said, that you started using at age 13, like that was the first time trying any substance. We say it in every video, you know, like the research that we've done, the age people start to use most often is between 11 and 13 years old. It's actually insane.
Right.
Yeah, there was
I've heard you guys say that a few times.
Yeah, and that's what just blows my mind is like, if you know that there's a long study in this process, why is there no prevention against that?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that's just crazy to me.
Yeah.
Well, like, why aren't they talking about it more in middle schools and high school? You know, you never hear it talked about.
Now, who did your addiction affect?
Really, so like I'm not connected with my family really well, so really it was just my significant other and my son and his son. And then like his mom, so just like my small immediate family.
Yeah.
You know, I guess in a larger scale, if I look at the big picture, you know, of course it affected jobs. It affected anybody that came in my path really when I was in active use.
Yeah. Now, what led you to get clean?
You know, honestly, so I went to prison in 2018 and I spent 2 years clean, and then I relapsed. And I got arrested in May of 2020, and I don't know, you know, I guess the only way I can describe it is like a spiritual awakening sitting in that jail cell, and that, you know, I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I was tired of going to jail. I was tired of losing everything. I was tired of letting my tongue down. And I think the moment that really solidifies me and like why I got clean was I realized I was going to be probably sitting in there for another one of my son's birthdays. My son was turning 4, and I was physically present at his first birthday, but I was not mentally present. And then I was locked up for his second and his third, and now getting ready to be his 4th. So that was kind of an eye-opener to me.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Find that one thing and hold on tight.
Yeah.
You know, and it's hard, you know, like it doesn't matter if you're not, the only way you're gonna ever stay clean and sober is if you want to stay clean and sober. Because I don't know if even if we had our son and I was in active addiction, I don't think my son would keep me clean. You know, like I don't think.
You have to do it for yourself.
So exactly. So, but when you notice things like that and you're able to pull yourself in, that's important for people to understand. Is you can make the decision.
To just
Absolutely, to stop or to not let it progress any farther. You don't have to keep digging yourself farther down that hole.
Absolutely. When I got out of prison, I thought I had 2 years clean. I was good. You know, I could casually use wrong. You know, and this time I really had to fight for my recovery. And I got out of jail. I already had 30 days clean, so no inpatient wanted to. My insurance didn't want to pay for an inpatient because I had over 30 days clean. So I had to fight to go to inpatient. Yeah, I had to really work for it this time.
Yeah, the system's broken.
It is broken. The system's definitely broken. Now, how are you staying clean today?
I celebrated 8 months 2 days ago.
Awesome.
Thank you. Really, it's just been changing everything, literally changing. And you know, the only credit I give to this COVID is it's really kept me kind of home. You know, I get to do all my meetings from home. I get to do my treatment from home because I'm that girl that's going to go to treatment, and I did it every single time. And I'm going to find the person that's dealing drugs or can teach me a new way to use drugs or has better drugs. So being able to do most of everything from home has been a huge help. I've been able to build a sober network that's been pretty solid. You know, they have a program in North Dakota called Free to Recovery that's linked to a probation and parole, and you get like a peer support specialist. So it's basically like a probation officer, but it's somebody that's been in the system, somebody that's gone through addiction, and they're just kind of on your level. And it's a really cool program that North Dakota offers. So I signed on to that right away. I stayed in treatment the entire 8 months. I'm in drug court now, so I just, I have a really solid sober network.
Yeah.
TikTok is part of that too.
Yeah. Drug court was huge for me. I graduated drug court last year. It was, everyone's like, it's going to be a trap, like it's not. It's if you're ready to be clean and sober, then you're ready to be clean and sober.
It's
like
actually really easy.
It is. Like I went there and I
stay
got to hear someone tell me how good I'm doing, and then I got to listen to them yell at people that are doing dumb things,
Yeah, I was really worried because our judge for drug court, she's kind of one of the stricter judges down here. She's sentenced me a couple times. Shit, but she's been awesome, and drug court's been it's my saving grace, really.
Yeah.
Awesome. And that's allowing something to work, because I thought the same thing, and I had oh gosh, I always forget the word, but I was like, I'm gonna be a functioning crackhead in 5 years. Like I told myself, and I believed it though. Like I flat out believed it. Like I'm gonna have a 9 to 5, life's gonna be good, I'm gonna do whatever the hell I want. And then I worked it. I continuously worked it. And then that desire went away, and I was working the steps, and I realized like that's not the life that I want for myself, and that's where my addiction comes into play, and how it always is growing and progressing, and how like convincing it is. And I love that you bring up the peer support. I was just speaking with somebody that's in mental health, and they were talking about putting a peer support in the hospital. So when people go in for like suicide attempt or something, they have a peer support there. They're not having the counselor or the doctor or anybody like that. They have somebody that's already been through it and sits down. Yeah. She's like, and you watching the relief out these people, where they're like, because in that point of your life, you're so much is happening, and then you get to reenact with somebody that's already been through it, and it's like, I love that. I hope it gets.
You can trust probation officers and you can trust treatment people, but it's like these people have been there.
Yeah.
They've done the drugs. They know.
Yeah.
As an addict, you feel like, well, you don't really know. You don't know what I'm going through.
Yeah.
I think every addict kind of feels that way, But when
Absolutely.
they do know what you're going through, I love my group support specialist. She's been great, and I'm actually going to get mine in March. So
awesome.
And that's why we do what we do, because like when people hear someone's story, they want to hear from like say like you share your story, I share my story. They don't relate with what I share, but everything you just said completely blew them out of the water, because it's everything they've been through.
Right.
And it's like when we let our support network run through our life and actually help, we let it do what it's supposed to do. The miracles that happen in life, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Well,
I wouldn't be
about like networking with other addicts too, because you can always guide them in the right direction. Like I was working with a girl, I sponsored a girl, and she's like, my boyfriend wants to get help. And he had students that there's some gang banging or whatever. I was able to connect him with somebody that I know through listening to their story that shared that similar experience. And it's like, how awesome is it to just have that in your pocket?
Yeah.
Like I know somebody for you, and you get that by listening to other addicts.
Saving lives. I love that. Saving lives.
And it's funny, like 6 years ago, I brought one of my best friends to a meeting, and he was still using an active addiction. I brought him to a meeting. I had over almost a year clean, and he got to meet a sponsor there, yada, yada, yada. I ended up going back out, and then like I reconnected to the rooms back down the road, and he's sponsoring many people, and he's, what I mean? He's got like 5 years clean now. It's like, it's to see like what you can do to the newcomers and how you can impact people just by bringing them to a meeting or introducing them to another addict. It's life changing. Yeah. All right. Now, so what's your biggest accomplishment in your recovery so far?
I'd say, and it's a really weird accomplishment, but I was always really proud of my career, and of course in active addiction, I kind of went right down the shitter. So I got home from treatment for sober living in August, and I got a job within a week, and I've maintained that same job. I've not called out a single day, and like I said, it seems like a silly accomplishment, but I'm really proud of that.
Good.
To be able to do normal adult stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
I pay my bills, and I have $20 left over at the next paycheck. It's not much to the regular person, but it's a lot to me.
Absolutely. I totally understand.
It's incredible.
Now,
it really is.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Now, would you change anything knowing what you know now?
Absolutely not. I say this all the time. Like, for a long time, I struggled with the higher power thing with God, because I didn't understand why if there was somebody almighty, why he put somebody through so many things. But I realize now, like, God is giving me a greater story to share. God is giving me these experiences so I can share that with somebody that might need it.
Yeah.
You know, and I've been through some stuff, but no, I wouldn't change any of it.
Awesome.
That's a powerful statement.
It is. If you could say something to someone that's still actively using, what would you say to that person?
You don't have to live this way anymore. You know, you don't have to live this way anymore. And I know it seems like it's impossible when you're out there getting sick and, you know, the struggle. But once you just get that little bit of light on the other side and you realize how pretty it is, it's such an amazing thing. You're not sick anymore, and you're not waking up chasing that high or thinking about how to get money. And you just really don't have to live that way anymore. And it doesn't matter where you come from or how much support you have in the beginning. It all matters what you build in your recovery. You know, you can really change your life with that.
Awesome. Great answer. Now, if you could say something to a family member of a loved one that's in active addiction, what would you say to that family member?
Find your own recovery.
Biome.
Yes.
You know, I say this to addicts all the time because they struggle. You know, I'm not close to my family, but I hear a lot of the girls that I talk to, and they're like, well, my family doesn't forgive me. My family doesn't trust me. We got to realize for however long we kept them in our addiction with us, you know, mine was 10 years, I've got to give them 10 years of time to get over that stuff. You know, for families, it's about, I wouldn't be where I was today if my significant other didn't hold his boundaries and say no. Say no.
Absolutely.
Saying no is a very spiritual thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very healing.
That you have to. You could be saving their life.
Yeah.
I like that though. Finding your own recovery. I haven't heard that yet. I say
I don't think a lot of families know, or they don't utilize the
tools.
What is the NA spin-off for families.
Yeah, and there's many supports for family out there too, you know, and it's they get just as addicted to the addict as the addict is to the drug, trying to save them, and it's not. It's such a sad thing to think about because now I think about it. Now I have a son. I would go to the ends of the world try to help my son, you know that, but being at where I'm at now, like, and knowing what I know, it could kill your children by enabling them. It can make them suffer more and to not progress, to not be able to get help. So,
and to grieve somebody that's still alive is the hardest thing that anybody will have to do.
Absolutely. Well, that is the end of the interview questions.
Awesome.
Yeah. So now we're gonna just open the floor to you to share whatever that you want to say to anyone out there that just some experience, strength, and hope.
You know, I used to think like my story was bigger than everybody else's. I had a daughter born out of ancestral rape, but my father at the age of 13 was placed for adoption. And then when I was 27, I was married to a man that didn't raise his children for 9 years, and I was in a car accident. I was driving, I was brainwashed in that. And you know, so I've been through all these traumatic things, right? And I thought, there's no way I can get better. Like, I have to say hi to them all these things, but you can get through anything. And once you get through those things, and once you realize that you don't have to numb, you can feel, and it's okay to feel, and you know, there's no burden big enough, there's no trauma in your life that you really need to numb from. You know, everybody grows, and everybody changes and evolves, and you just have to live life, and you have to forgive people. And you know, even with my dad, I've just learned.
Hey Jenny, could you just hold it a little bit closer? Yeah, just because you're breaking up and I want a good video for you. Sorry. Go ahead.
You know, like even with the things I went through with my dad, like that, when I was still for the 2 years out of prison and I was working the step where we make amends, and I wanted to make amends to him so bad. And that's the part of the step where it says, where it would hurt you or somebody else. I had to realize, like, I just can let stuff go. I don't have to have closure. I don't have to let it be okay. I can just let it be. What's done is done. And you know, it's a really healing thing to forgive people for yourself and not for them. And move on. And you know, just let life be what it is.
Very important thing to learn. I also struggled with that, and I remember I was meeting my dad for the first time in my recovery, and I was, like, it hit me, you know, he was like, oh, I'm on my way, and I'm like, why? Wait, what? And, like, it was like I didn't even realize that, like, I set up to see him for Christmas and everything. And I was like, I'm not even high. What do you mean I have to like communicate with you, right? And I freaked out and I called my sponsor and I was like, what the hell do I do? You know? And she's like, go to the bathroom and call me if you need to. And I was like, what? You want me to go? I was like so like petrified, you know? And then I learned like working the steps and stuff. And there was stuff in my trauma that I was like, I need to say sorry to this girl. You know, I was hurt, and I hurt her. I shouldn't have taught her those things. And my sponsor goes, why would you bring up her trauma because you're trying to heal yours? And I was like, whoa. She goes, you may not have known, Olivia, but you don't do that to somebody. I was like, well, what about me? And she goes, let it go. And I'm like, oh my gosh. You know, I was like, wait, what? People do that? But that's important to learn. That's awesome. Very good advice.
Yeah, it was important, like, with the relationship with my daughter, because, like they said, because my dad is actually her dad, and, you know, for a long time I kept that from her, and it's like, but you say I've never heard that statement, you know, like, causing somebody else trauma because your trauma is not, it seems like the right thing to do in the moment, but, like, I've kept that from her for so long, and, you know, this year I was actually able to, we've been in correspondence for a couple of years now, but I was actually able to, like, in recovery, sit down and talk to her about it and, you know, build a relationship with her. And it's been a really cool thing. And, you know, I didn't cause her any more trauma. That was my biggest fear. You know, like, am I doing this out of selfishness for me or am I doing it for her? And yeah, it's been a really cool thing.
Yeah, recovery is great because we get to learn who we are and then we get to grow, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
It's awesome.
Yeah, you learn a whole new person.
Right?
Well, we were super happy that you were able to get on. You did an amazing job. Your story is definitely going to impact someone out there. It impacted us. That's one thing we love to share is that we don't do this for selfish reasons, but we do this because it helps us stay clean and sober. Helps us hear a message that we need to hear. Also, you know, it's
to get it out there is like so powerful because, like you said, like right now everything's on the internet.
Yeah.
So people that don't know recovery, like don't know like Zoom meetings or anything, like we have all the meetings listed in our description because it's that important.
Yeah.
But somebody that types in, you know, heroin recovery or alcohol recovery or something, and we pop up as their first video, that just opened the door for them to be able to explore deeper, you know, and that's why it's so important is to be able to get that out there for people. So did you have anything else that you wanted to share?
No, I love what you guys are doing. I love that you guys touch and focus a lot on mental health because it's been huge in my recovery. You guys are doing such awesome jobs. I've gotten to listen to both your stories and you guys are just really good people and I love you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jenny. One last thing. Could you state your name, your clean date, and one thing you're grateful for?
My name is Jeannie and my clean date is 5/19/2020.
Woo-woo.
And one thing I'm grateful for is the program of Narcotics Anonymous because it saved my life.